Internet creates an illusion that all the knowledge is available, but in reality there could be any amounts of really valuable knowledge unavailable on the internet, just because it would be unwise to share this knowledge. Greetings, this is Eugene the Philosopher, the greatest living philosopher after the unfortunate passing of Quentin Robert de Nameland, who has been the greatest living philosopher before me. In this video I want to talk about knowledge and how it spreads on the internet, or rather how it doesn't spread on the internet. So we're not talking about like your everyday regular kind of knowledge, but more about like the arcane type of knowledge, alright? So let me start with a simple preface that we're living in the age of informational revolution, blah-de-blah, blah-de-blah, the internet is the new printing press, blah-de-blah, blah-de-blah, everything is available on the internet, you have all the information in the world at your fingertips, literally, if you're using your phone, etc., etc., etc. So we have this illusion, I would say, that social media and the internet in general would give us any information, and I repeat this word, any information that we want. Or, as I've put it in my previous videos, see the link in the description, not the immediately previous one, but long time ago, I've had a video, something like reality in the age of social media, and on the thumbnail I've written, like, if it's not here, it didn't happen, right? So see the link in the description. So we have this illusion that if something is not on the social media or internet in general, it doesn't even exist in the first place, right? We have this sort of iceberg kind of, well, again, like optical illusion, let's put it this way. So we may mistakenly assume nowadays that no secret knowledge exists at all. Like there is no arcane knowledge, for lack of a better word, just because people don't brag about it every day and don't put it on display on the Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever else there is. TikTok, I guess, is the most cancerous of all the social media. However, you may notice that we are still fine with some of the institutions, like mostly older institutions, withholding the information, mostly for security reasons. You know, I'm talking about things like military, I'm talking about police, the banks, like the medical institutions, etc., etc. And I mean, it's obvious why they do so, again, for security reasons. Why? Well, because knowledge is power, you know, again, I've quoted Francis Bacon already, scientia potentia est, right? Knowledge is power. The question is, like, if we remember that the older institutions do this thing, why can't we assume, at the very least, that the newer informational institutions, such as social media and the internet in general, would not do this, right? Like, would people on the social media do the same? I would even, like, pose this question more aggressively, like, why wouldn't they do the same, alright? Because, of course they would, you know, they would withhold information, they would conceal information, the internet would. Again, firstly for security reasons, like again, people are not very, let's say, happy about sharing their personal information on the internet, which is again, understandably for security reasons, but also I think we shouldn't miss the issue of value. And what I'm talking about here is that some information is just too valuable to be openly shared. And we kind of completely lost track of that. Again, see the premise of this video, the introduction. Because now we have this illusion that the internet has all the information there is. And it doesn't, you know. So, let me tell you a little story before we get into the second part of this video. So, I'm playing one game. It's Heroes of the Storm, okay? Like every now and then. So it's a competitive 5 versus 5 game, alright? And I've discovered, like, sometime like a year ago or something, I've discovered accidentally a bug in this game, which kind of, like, breaks the game completely. So the game crashes, but the thing is that the match that was played is not in the match history, which means that the team that was supposed to win it does not win it, and the team that was supposed to lose it does not lose it. So, as you might understand, and I could do it myself. So, in theory, I could have just stopped any games which I was losing and have, you know, only wins in my match history, which would, you know, elevate my rating, etc., etc., etc. But I didn't do that. I shared this information with the community, and eventually, like in a couple of days, it was fixed. So, and I still think it was a correct decision. So it was very valuable information that I've shared, and like it held like a big impact on the game, all right? But this is a game, all right? The game is supposed to be fair. So you're supposed to say, hey, there's this weird bug that, you know, you can abuse potentially, etc., etc., etc. I could have abused it, all right? And again, it's a game. What about life, though? Is life supposed to be fair? Well, I mean, supposed to is probably the incorrect expression with respect to life, but life is not fair. We know it for a fact, all right? Like, some people are born very healthy, very beautiful, very rich. I mean, in a rich family, etc. Some people are born like with all kinds of genetic disabilities, and they're ugly, and they're born in a poor families, right? It's not fair. Life is not fair. So why would you do this procedure? Like, if you somehow encountered some sort of very sensitive information that gives you a lot of power, you know, scientia potentia est, why would you share it in life, you know? I mean, the information about life. That's a good question, actually, you know? So in life, you are constantly kind of trying to get advantage. And obviously, I mean, our modern way of life, our sort of like capitalistic society, you know, there's competition everywhere and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of semi-ironic about this, you know. See my earlier videos about communism and things like that. So, of course, there are rules in society. I mean, things like morality, etc., etc. By the way, watch my video, Morality is a Flex, where I talk about this a bit more. But imagine if you found a shortcut to life, so to speak, you know, life hacking kind of thing, which is not immoral and it's not illegal, but it gives you huge advantage, like you specifically. Like, why would you share it with everyone else? Like, you would just handicap yourself, no? Like, it would be kind of stupid to do it. Why would you disclose it? So, imagine some person, like, I know there's plenty of videos, like, you know, plenty of information of this sort, but imagine someone genuinely found a way to, let's say, get rich very easy, very quick with zero investment. All right. For example, why would they disclose this information? Like, they would need to have a big, I mean, really big incentive to do so. Why wouldn't they just get really rich, really easy with zero investment themselves and be happy about it? Like, because, you know, if everyone gets rich, then kind of no one is rich, you know. It's called inflation, actually, when everyone is rich, if you know what I mean, you know, like Weimar Germany or modern US. So yeah, like, there are probably a few incentives for such information to be released. For example, desire for fame. Like, you can probably get more, like, very famous for, you know, discovering this method. So your wealth would be nullified by the fact that everyone got rich, but still you are famous for, like, discovering this method, right? Maybe, like, famous in a bad way even, I don't know, like, or it could be, for example, like, genuine desire for help, genuine desire to help other people, even though it's very hard to disentangle these two, like, whereas fame ends and genuine desire to help begins, because I kind of think they are, in most cases at least, connected. At the very least connected. Like, I can believe that, and in fact, like, you know, a good example of someone, like, genuinely desiring to help others and doing so would be if they do so anonymously, alright? So if somebody gets this information out anonymously, then it will be like a good sign that maybe this is what we're dealing with, right? But not if they are, you know, sort of like a self-help kind of guru sharing their way of getting rich, etc., you know, selling the successful success. I mean, their way of getting rich is to sell you this crap of information that they're selling to you of how to get rich, right? How to get rich would just sell to other people information on how to get rich, and we'll get rich. All right. And one interesting incentive I can think about additionally would be the desire to end the world. And, like, there have been, like, imagine another example, like, screw this getting rich quickly. Imagine somebody discovered a way of, for example, assembling an atomic bomb like just using, you know, like Home Depot type of stuff for $100, right? So you buy some simple raw materials, you assemble an atomic bomb at home. So I think you would see how if this person was willing for the world to end, they would spread this information, right? And this would probably be the only, I mean, okay, the fame as well goes with this, yeah. But this would be this Herostratus type of fame, you know, the guy who burned the temple of Artemis, right? I think it was. Anyways, like, you may desire the world to end, so you would have an incentive to share this information, because the world would end pretty quickly if you do share this information. But hopefully you can see my point, right? Like, and I actually know an example from 10 plus years ago. Some very sensitive information has been shared, again, of this kind of world-ending kind of information, kind of like how to assemble an atomic bomb. And the author actually clearly stated, like, I am pissed off at the world, I want it to end. That's why I'm sharing this. So I'm not making this up. This stuff happens. Luckily, this information has since then been drowned in all the informational noise. So I'm not gonna give you any other hints. All right. Okay. So to kind of going to the conclusions of this video, right? Would people on the internet, myself included, because I'm also the person on the internet, deliberately conceal some information? I think from the examples I gave you and from the incentives that people are usually using to share the information, the answer would be clearly yes. They would conceal some information at the very least, all right? And I will, again. So we are, I think, again, we have to be reminded, and this video, like, my motivation for making this video is to remind people that arcane knowledge is not something like, how would I put this? Like, we are witnessing, at least in this video, right, some sort of like a return of the arcane knowledge. But it's not really a return. I'm just telling you that arcane knowledge has always been there. And by arcane knowledge, I mean some knowledge that is so valuable that it cannot be shared, at least openly, all right? Maybe you can share it with some very, very small group of, like, whatever, devotees, let's put it this way. So, yeah, we have to remember that valuable impersonal things just can't be acquired for free. And why am I, like, stressing the word impersonal? I mean, obviously, in your relationships, like with your family, your friends, your loved ones, you constantly share very valuable things for free, right? So, but I'm just talking about impersonally. Like, I don't know you most likely don't know me. So what, like, why would I share something really, really impactful for free, right? I wouldn't, okay? I'm not gonna tell you how to create an atomic bomb, for $100. Do I know about it? Maybe. Alright, so let's conclude this rant. So, Internet creates an illusion that all the knowledge is available, but in reality there could be any amounts of really valuable knowledge unavailable on the Internet, just because it would be unwise to share this knowledge. Okay? So, how or can we assemble an atomic bomb for $100? Can we get rich really quickly, really easily, with zero investment? Maybe, you know, ... The internet and I, as someone on the internet, we're silent about that. Thank you for watching. The eons are closing. If you wish to support me, please consider joining my Patreon. That is patreon.com/philosopher. See the link in the description. Or if you have a scientific theory of your own and you'd like my help in developing it, please join my alternative science coaching program, also available through Patreon.